So I had been getting aesthetic treatments for a few years, but I was looking to move away from the kind of quick fixes and short-term instant results and looking for something that's a bit more enduring. I did my research and Dr. Yannis came up as someone that was practicing slightly more of a holistic approach, which is where I was at in my journey, so it was kind of the perfect match. So I normally would spot something in the mirror I didn't like, book an appointment with a random practitioner, and they're like, oh, maybe you should do this and that, and you walk away thinking, oh my gosh, I thought I only needed X, but turns out I need a million other things. Get it sorted, feel great for a couple of weeks, and then really be back in the same place. So I was in that kind of cycle. When I came to Dr. Yannis, it was much more about having an open conversation about what are you ultimately trying to achieve and how do you make this lasting. And it always feels like, again, those consultations are no strings. So that just takes a lot of the anxiety away. So I think that definitely has a knock-on effect on your confidence, your mental health, because you start to see aesthetics as something which is working on the great stuff you've already got, rather than trying to hide it all. My experience before was quite different. It was night and day. Like, it was, again, much more honest, it was much more authentic, and this is far more about like what will enhance what I've already got in the most light touch way. It was thinking about everything in its entirety, lifestyle, skincare, everything all together, so that actually once you've done a treatment, you don't feel like you'll be back in the room in the next couple of weeks asking for the next fix. So his approach was one that was really led by just being informed. So the whole way I understood what polynucleotides were, what the process would be like, what the kind of number of treatments would be, aftercare, upkeep, and that was just really upfront from the very beginning. So by the time we got to the treatment, I felt like I really was so comfortable because he was so clear and expert in how he was explaining the process would be and what the results would be. It was exactly what I expected, which I think is very rare in this industry for what is described to be exactly what you get at the end. And then even if it's not, you're able to have that conversation and it be more of a dialogue. And then the great thing as well is that after the treatment's done, it wasn't like, okay, now you're on your own. You're able to text, ask questions, come back in even just for a chat. The process is, much like his approach, holistic. I started getting lip filler about 5 years ago. Didn't like the way they looked, would go in to a practitioner, get them filled, feel great for a week, be back in the next month. And I felt like it was very much led by my desires or insecurities. So it's like, I'll get another mil of filler in, that would be great. And the practitioner was very happy to oblige. I was actually coming in to see Dr. Yannis about polynucleotides in my skin when he just said, can I just be honest? I think we can do better with your lip filler. And it wasn't even him saying that you can do better with your lip filler here, just saying you can. So that prompted me to think about getting them dissolved, which I did. And then when we came back to Dr. Yannis, it was very much about how is it balanced with the other treatments that I was getting, making it appropriate for kind of my face and my other features. So it felt like, again, it was much more collaborative rather than me coming in a panic, saying I want to get lip filler, which ultimately improves the way you see yourself as well, because it isn't about fixing anything. It's about that balance. It's about everything working together, which has just been, obviously, brilliant. I think it's honesty. Like, I think when you're sitting in the room with Dr. Yannis, it doesn't feel like a transaction. It feels like you get an hour with an expert, ask all of your questions, and then come to some kind of outcome or plan that really works for you. And so yeah, and it's always honest, which is, again, pretty rare. I would recommend him because I think you leave the room feeling more knowledgeable about your own features, but also aesthetic treatments more generally, which is invaluable because then you can make a more empowered decision rather than something based on emotion or insecurity, which I would recommend to anyone. Do your research about the procedure, about the ingredients, but then also about your practitioner as well. The more informed you are, the less anxious you'll be, but also the better decisions you'll make. I would also say, like, just have the conversation. A lot of the conversations I've had with Dr. Yannis over the last year or so have been no strings attached. Let's just talk and explore. And so I didn't make the decision to do polynucleotides straight away. It was definitely something that happened after multiple conversations. So yeah, just have the chat. Honest. It's hard to be honest when you're talking about something as kind of vulnerable as your looks and your aesthetics, but he manages to do it in such a comfortable way that you always end up getting to a better result because of how honest he is. So the next word I use to describe Dr. Yannis is authentic, which I think is slightly different to being honest. He always shows up as himself in consultations, which just makes you feel so much more comfortable before you get an injection in your face, which just puts you immediately at ease. Expert. I think his knowledge of the treatments, the products that he's using, facial balance, all of those things is really, really impressive, and just leaves you feeling so much more knowledgeable about your own treatment and what's going on.